Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Aliyah, and you're Miss Nickotopoulos?
Yeah, Nickotopoulos.
Nice to meet you.
Great, have a seat. Okay, so if you're looking to fill the position of a stress counselor here at the UN, right? Okay, so I'm just going to ask you a few questions to help get to know you better. Feel free to ask questions if you need to. This is to help me understand where you stand in terms of what we are looking for. So, what motivated you to apply for this position?
Well, counseling is already something that I've had a lot of experience with, having had my own practice and working as a psychologist for the past 10 years or so. I wanted to work as a stress counselor for United Nations because it's always been my passion to help people, and I feel like what you guys do here at the UN is something really admirable, and I figured that the work you do on a national and greater scale motivates me, and I wanted to be a part of that. I also know that I'll be able to utilize my interpersonal and communication skills in this job, and I think it'll be great to help the employees here carry out their highest quality of work.
Okay, great. And tell me about a time where you were faced with conflicting priorities. How did you determine the top priority?
Oh, so while I was in university, I interned for a little bit at Halfway Home, and basically what I did there was I worked the graveyard shift from 7 to 12, and these were patients that were coming out of mental health care and learning to live independently. And so the problem and the conflict that was here was that I worked the graveyard shift, but I was also taking morning courses at the time. So I had to decide which would be my priority, my education versus my work at the Halfway Home. And so I found a way to meet ends by rescheduling some of my courses, so I had them later in the day, and I was able to manage my time more effectively because I still wanted to take my courses, but I also wanted to do what I love, which is helping
Time
people.
management, right?
Yeah, exactly, right? So what I did there was I prioritized my education and took some later courses to help.
That's great. That's exactly what we're looking for. Why do you think you will be successful at this job?
I'm confident in my extent of experience in the field, and for the past decade I've been working as a psychologist with my own practice. And I know I will be successful as a stress counselor because I have the required training and qualifications for the job. As I have a PhD in psychology, it's second nature to me, and I wanted to be able to apply myself in a situation where I can help people solve their own problems sensibly and deal with their own stress. And I feel like this is a perfect opportunity for that.
Yeah. So what historical figure do you admire and why?
I really admire Malala Yousafzai. Her ability to persevere and work extensively to overcome her own obstacles is really admirable to me. And I think I do a lot of work helping people overcome their own problems. And the thinking that she put into her life is something I want to teach my people that I'm
Equality and everything. Did you read her book by any chance?
Oh yes, I did. I'm actually
so did I. I really liked it actually.
I just think it's great. It's a great lesson as well. She took a bullet to the head and she still solves her own issues and speaks out. I think that's important for me to teach my clients how to overcome their own problems regardless of the other factors.
Okay, and so tell me about a time when you meditated conflicts between employees or with clients.
Okay, so I swear to secrecy, so I can't give you a specific case, but oftentimes I come up with clients that face problems balancing their personal life and their work life. And usually what happens there is the social relationships that they have end up suffering as a result. So what I teach my clients oftentimes is positive communication on both ends. So for example, I get a lot of people who are like working so hard, they forget to keep in touch with their family or their relationships, like keeping that bond. And it's important for us to also have social relationships. So I teach them to communicate on both ends, and what that does is it creates an open-mindedness that allows both sides to feel as though they're being heard. And in situations where my clients have conflict with their work life and social life, I just tell them just talk to your family, talk to your friends, and that teaches them to lower their stress and maintain these relationships that are crucial.
Okay, so what are your greatest strengths?
My greatest strengths include my strong communication skills, my ability to remain professional, and my critical thinking skills as well. I feel like I'm confident in those abilities. My communication skills have made me successful in my own practice because they're what I utilize to teach these stress handling techniques to my clientele. Also, professionalism is something that is really important to me because that's what I have to do. I have to provide an outer outlook on a situation while still being professional with my clients. And as well as the critical thinking, I have to teach them how to solve their problems and deal with their stress. So I have to do a lot of thinking on their part as well, because we want to make ends meet. We want everyone to be happy, right?
Yeah.
So definitely, I help them with an out of situation type perspective, and that form of assistance is something I think is very important.
Okay, so do you have any questions for me?
Oh, I was actually wondering, what traits do you look for in an individual looking to fill this position?
Well, I look for someone who's very collaborative. I look for someone who is very attentive and able to contribute frequently. Stress counselors are meant to help members of the UN to manage themselves in these situations in a workplace environment. I think it is important for our counselors to remain professional while still providing a structured form of assistance. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And how is success measured by you?
Your success has a lot to do with, as I said, helping the members of United Nations learn to handle their stress and solve their own problems. In order to be successful, it is always important that you're effective with the techniques you're using to help clients.
Sounds great. So when can I expect to hear back from you guys?
I'd say in about a week or so. Yeah, I'll let you know.
And if you need to contact me, I have my number here on my resume.
Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Awesome. And it was great.
It was good. Nice to meet you too.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. No problem.